to the Carson City School District School Board of Trustees meeting. At this time, I will call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Agenda item number 1 is adoption of the agenda. This is for possible action, but before we do so, as you all may recall, at our last meeting when we were going over the policies, we discussed with our legal counsel that he would be researching policy 104, 106, and 107. At that time, he mentioned that those policies would be taken from the agenda and brought to us for a first reading. So policy 104, 106, and 107 will be for first reading, and then policy 101, 102, 103, 105 would be for second reading. Isn't that correct?
Yeah,
Legal counsel?
so everything, Ms. President, that you just said is correct. The 104, 106, and 107 will be discussion only tonight. There will be no action taken on it. Come on. And just to, I hope, put everybody's mind at ease, there was some press today saying that action on those items would be a violation of the open meeting law. I will tell you that I disagree. If you guys did want to go forward with action tonight, I think you'd be within your rights. But because it has warrant further discussion, there's no harm in taking those as discussion only. And on that basis, there can be no violation of the open meeting law before a meeting's actually convened. And two, we're not going to be taking action on those items anyway. So you guys are absolutely fine.
I would ask the board, though, since we did discuss it at our last meeting, that we would ask him, our legal counsel, to go and research it and bring it back to us. At that point, we did discuss having those sections as first reading. So with the adoption of the agenda, whoever chooses to make the motion, I would ask that you adopt it as policy 104, 106, and 107 will be for first reading discussion only. I will need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make that motion. I move that the Carson City School District Board of Trustees adopt the agenda as submitted with the change that policies 104, 106, 107 would be just for discussion only.
And first reading.
And first reading.
Do I have a second? Thank you. Is there public comment? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item number 2. This is the flag salute for Trustee Clapham. Would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 3. This is the superintendent's report. This is for information only. Superintendent Fueling.
Thank you, President Walt. It has been a wonderful July in the district. Lots of folks who during the school year don't get to take time off. They're taking some time off, myself included. Lots of capital projects that are beginning to wrap up across the district, even if they don't maybe look like they are. Things will be ready to go to start the school year. Today, just to put on your radar, because I don't believe we've talked about this yet, but we had a NAS meeting all day today, and we had talked a bit about what's called the District Performance Framework. You all are familiar with the Nevada School Performance Framework, NSPF. That's the star ratings that we talk about. As a part of Senate Bill 460 out of the last legislative session, which was a massive education bill, one of the requirements coming out of that is the state working on creating a district performance framework. So there's going to be some various data points that are going to be used to give they're trying to frame it not as like judgment, but a sense of how districts are performing overall. That is a relatively unique thing. I don't know that there's any other state that actually does that. So I will be participating on a committee starting this school year called the Subcommittee on Accountability Redesign, the SAR committee, in which actually our accountability and assessment director, Ricky Medina, already has been a part of as they've been working on developing this. So there'll be more conversations about that, and also now getting much more into the conversations about the school ratings themselves. So it'll be some really interesting conversations. Ultimately, a lot of those things, the way that we're rated, are dictated by the federal government. We don't have a lot of choice, but there are some things that we do. So I'm looking forward to those conversations, and that'll be, I believe, starting up in September. I think it's going to be the first meeting again. Right around the corner here, it's hard to believe that July is almost over. We have in 1 week our first principals meeting of the year. So all of our school administrators will be back in the saddle and ready to engage and start the new year. It's hard to believe. And then just, I believe, a day later, our new teachers will be showing up, which is exciting. And I think, I don't know, Mr. Carson, I want to say there's like, I don't know if you know the number, I want to say like 33. Just nod your head. Okay, thank you. So not as many as in prior years. So it'll be a smaller group, which is great. We are doing very well on staffing overall. I am pretty certain that we have actually filled all of our special education and science teaching positions, which normally are really difficult to fill. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then just a week later than that, all of our teachers are back on the, sorry, do I have, I don't know if I want to make sure I'm looking at the right month. Back on the 12th, Wednesday the 12th, and we'll be having our kickoff. And if you would like to come and be a part of that, we'll be out on the Carson High field like we have been in past years, and looking forward to seeing everyone and getting the year started. And then Tuesday the 18th is the first day of school. So that is all I have for today.
I have a couple questions and requests. Could you send us a meeting invite for the kickoff? If you would, or have her name.
Yes,
send
Dan
us-
Davis will.
Yeah, thank you. Send us that meeting invite just so we have it on our calendar. So the question that I had, you mentioned that at your NAS meeting that you guys are discussing the star ratings. And then that will be something that will be discussed at legislature, correct?
I actually, I think so. I can't remember how much of it is, because some of it is, again, dictated by federal law. I think some of it is an NRS. So yeah, I would come back during the legislative session to reset.
Okay.
what-
Because when you discuss it then too, would it be under your purview or anyone's to, because what I don't understand is why public schools have the star ratings, but private and charters don't. And yet, if we're going, whichever way the legislature decides to go, if the money follows the child, why wouldn't they have to have the same structure as a public school? I just don't see how that benefits anybody if they don't.
Sure. So the charter schools do fall under the NSPF requirements. They don't have to do the NEPF, so the teacher evaluation system. There's a lot of acronyms in all of this, so it gets a little confusing. Private schools definitely don't. There is, in the last session, and I think this is a part of SB 460 as well, if with some of the, I can't remember if it's the education savings, I think it's called something else, I can't think of the term right now, but if private schools take some of the funds from the state for taking a student. So if you think of, like, you've heard of vouchers, it's kind of the voucher program. They then are potentially subject to having some of those requirements to do testing and that sort of thing. So, but even with that, they aren't subject to the rating system. So I think that can all be a part of the conversation. But
I would hope so. I would, then it makes it an even playing field. Does anybody have any questions for Superintendent Fueling? All right, thank you very much, appreciate it. And you were finished, correct? Yeah, okay. All right. All right, we'll close agenda item number 3, move on to 4. This is board reports, board member comments. This is for information only. I'm not sure, Richard, or Trustee Varner, do you have any for NASB?
No, just a reminder of the training in September. And I think you got to notify Renee if you're planning on attending, if you haven't already.
And where is that one again?
It's in Lovelock.
Lovelock, okay, thank you. So do we have any school reports? Oh, you do? All right, go on.
Yes, I was surprised that the principals emailed me back. I told them they should be on vacation and relaxing, but they both sent me information. So, Seeliger Elementary is looking forward to welcoming students and families back for the 2026-2027 school year as part of their annual Title I family meeting. Families will learn about the school's updated student attendance and positive behavior recognition system, partnerships to support student learning, Carson City School District grading updates, and have the opportunity to meet their child's teacher for the upcoming year. To provide flexibility for families, the meetings are going to be offered on August 6th, 7th, 10th, and 11th. Dates and times have been shared through Parent Square, and additional reminders will be posted on the school's social media channels. They look forward to welcoming their students and families back in August for another successful school year. And then Eagle Valley Middle School is preparing to welcome students and families as well. The school office reopened yesterday with summer hours of 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. The office will be closed on August 3rd for staff training and will resume regular business hours of 7:30 to 3 beginning August 4th. Eagle Valley will host its annual Back to School Boot Camp on Thursday, August 13th, providing students and families an opportunity to receive their class schedules, locate classrooms, and meet teachers and staff before the first day of school. To ensure a smooth experience, families are encouraged to attend during their assigned grade level session. 6th grade is from 3:30 to 4:15. 7th grade is from 4:15 to 5 p.m. and 8th grade is from 5 to 5:45 p.m. All attendees should enter through the gym entrance at the front of the school. Parking will be available in the front lot, upper parking lot, and basketball court area. Eagle Valley looks forward as well to welcoming students and families back for another successful school year.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Do you? No. All right, so we're going to go ahead then and close agenda item number 4. Brings us to 5, association reports. This is for discussion only. Do we have any association reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to 6, public comment. Do we have any public comment? Seeing none, moving on to 7. Might be record time, people. All right. So this
Mr.
is,
President,
oh, sorry.
just for the record, you should note that there was no electronic public comment.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Renee, was there any?
No, President Walt, no electronic public comment.
Well, thank you very much. All right, moving on to agenda item number 7, information update on the North Lampa Ranch development and the impact of the Carson City School District. This is for discussion only, and it is brought to us by Superintendent Fueling.
okay, good evening again, trustees. And thank you, President Walt. So tonight, there was a request, I think a couple months ago, just to bring back information on the land acquisition that happened through the Lampa development. And so just a little bit of history on this. This is actually a long item in the making. So as you know, in the center of town, kind of behind Carson High School, there's the Lampa Ranch, which is a very large property. Much of it that you have seen over the past, I'd say 5 years especially, much of it has been developed. There's lots of housing going back there. roads. If you haven't driven back there, if you drive back on Robinson, it just keeps going and going and going and swinging around. There's homes back there you didn't even know existed. But so back in 2016, we learned that the Lampa property, at least much of the Lampa property, was going to be developed. And so we entered conversations, and two, I think it's important to give a little historical context of that time period because so I came here in 2014, and what we knew, what we learned around 2015, 2016 was we had some sit-down meetings with the city of Carson City, Lee Plumel at the time, I think Hope was already there too, talking about all the developments that were happening that were now like going to be coming online in the next few years in Carson City, and there were many, many, many. And so we did some internal projections based on the number of units, I guess, whatever those be, you know, apartments, single-family homes, multifamily homes. And with the number of units, there are certain assumptions you make of how many students, basically for every 100 units, how many students would you expect to get from that? And then taking that number and kind of divvying it up across the different grade levels or schooling levels. And based on historical numbers that, well, so we came up with a number. The number was a little scary at the time in terms of what the projected growth looked like. So we hired a third party that very much specializes in this type of work to go through and do a similar analysis, and theirs is much more sophisticated, but came up with relatively similar numbers, I think a little higher, I think, than what we were projecting. And what they do is they look at previous developments and the number of students when there is new construction, the number of students that we've gotten out of that new construction. And so the projections were at some point, 10, 20 years down the road, that the school district, which at the time had a little over, I think, 7,200 students, would end up around 10,000 students. So it was really significant. And we, at that time, our schools really, they were full almost to the, at capacity at that point. Most of them were. So unless, so the expectation was that we would have to build 2 more elementary schools, 1 more middle school, and unless you wanted a high school with somewhere between, I think it was 3,700 or 4,000 students, you probably need another high school, or at least something along those lines. And the scary thing about that is we don't have the money. They're under the current tax structures and property tax structures in Nevada, there's no way we would have enough money to build like that. Our new high schools that Washoe had plans done on and got put costs on, there were $250 million. So, and that's like a school the size of Carson High School. And there was no way we would raise that kind of money. So with that as the backdrop, as we started in on these conversations, knowing that there wasn't going to be a lot of money available, or we had to be really careful with that money, we had discussions with the Lampa Ranch developer about ways that maybe they could help us out at least a little bit within that process. So we finished those conversations, and in the final development agreement with the city, there is some language in there about how that would be handled with the school district, and that was finalized in 2017. And so in the details of that agreement, the developer agreed to set aside 10 acres for us, and I have some maps here, so I'll put it up here and I'll show you. It was, so 10 acres, the purchase price was not to exceed $2 million. To help us with the purchase, they collected for every unit sold, they collected what was called a donation fee of $1,000 per unit And then that would be collected by the city, given to us, and then we could use that to help with the purchase price. But under no circumstance, and it's very clear in the development language, that under no circumstance would there be more than a $150,000 cost to the district for that 10 acres. So that was really good insurance for us in terms of having an idea of what this would actually cost us. And again, appreciative of them working that out to make it affordable for us. And so this is actually a picture, and it's kind of hard to make out, but this is from the old Carson City Master Plan, which is what we were working off at that time. So this, in the original documents we were looking at, this is, it's hard, I realize it's hard to see. This is 5th Street right here, if you can see the arrow. Right here, this is Robinson. So Robinson was the street I said, you know, if you have a chance, go drive back on Robinson because it goes quite a ways now. And so the dark line, that's kind of hard to make out, but then it runs around, comes up to the freeway and runs up there, comes back around. That was the old what they call the Lomp Ranch Specific Plan area, which is was a part of the Carson City Master Plan. So they had already been thinking about how that was going to be developed. This is kind of towards the end of those conversations about the development of this area with the developer and what it would look like. They had put together this map back at that time. And you can see Carson High School is this big purple blob in the upper left-hand corner. And then you see 10-acre school site, and it's pointing over here. So the idea, and it wasn't entirely finalized yet because they didn't know exactly what the development was all going to look like, but they tried to make it so that it was adjacent to the existing Carson High School property lot. And so this is a map this is from Google Maps, just a snapshot of just this last week. So it gives you a sense if you see, so you have the Carson High School, you have the sports complex here, you have the solar field, which if you've been back around there, you would very much notice the solar field. So just to the east of that is this 10-acre, it's sort of a rectangle with a little pyramid on top. I don't know what that shape is called, but what? A pencil. It kind of does look like a pencil, maybe a crayon. So that is the property that that was then set aside for us. When in conversations with the city, as things started a lot of the dirt work, as they call it, started getting really active and they started laying out the streets, the city reached out to us because as they were going through on the planning on this, our hope was that this 10 acres, it's actually, I think, just a shade over 10 acres, would just be attached to, just contiguous with our land. But due to the way this was laid out, they had to have a smaller secondary road as an outlet. And so this was the natural point. So there is a break, there is a street that goes through there. But again, because we own that area, it'll only get developed when we develop it. And so back in February, we completed the acquisition process. So the money that had been collected so far by the city with all of the donation fees was sent to an escrow account. As part of our capital improvement plan, the $150,000 that we owed as our maximum, that was sent to the escrow account. So that closed, and we now have the deed to that land. And as I tell that story, Mr. Russell has been involved through all of this and really helpful. I don't know if there's anything you would want to add to any of that.
That was perfect. The title has transferred. It's clearly in our name now, so we've completed the the transition, and everything AJ just said is exactly what needed to be said.
So it's very exciting that 10 years later, we have some closure on that. It's incredible how long some of these processes can take, but It's a good asset for the school district. And however, you know, clearly some things have changed in our world, but clearly gives us, I always tell my kids, and they get sick of me saying this, but I always say options have value. You want to give yourself options, and that has value. And so this gives us some options for, as we have, you know, future needs, future dreams, possibilities for ways to potentially utilize that property. And that's all I have. I'm happy to take any questions.
I have a quick one. So if you could reiterate, I believe I heard you say that there was no fiscal impact to the school district to purchase this?
The only fiscal impact was the only fiscal impact was from our capital projects fund, the $150,000 that was set aside just to, over time, just to make that payment. But there's no impact out of the general fund or any of the other funds that carry on our daily operations for the district.
All right, great, thank you. Do we have additional questions? Trustee Varner?
Yes,
We'll
I do.
start with you.
With them having to put that road in between, just kind of separate the property, how's that going to affect our future development if we have to? I mean, can we cut a road through there or what's the plan?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's going to come down to, you know, in the initial discussions when this was all happening, the thought at that time was we likely would start with a K through 8 building to take some pressure off the elementaries, but also some pressure off the middle schools, knowing that the high school, I think the high school's population at that time was about 2,200, and historically Carson High has been as high as 2,500 students, I believe it was. So we knew the high school still had a little bit of room, but the other schools we knew were going to run into some trouble. But at that time, we didn't really even contemplate the road issue. It wasn't a thing. So I think in the future, if there ends up being some type of school facility there, I think it depends how it's being used and who is using it. So if it was a standalone entity for whatever type of school that would be, you know, likely you have kids being dropped off just like you do at every one of our other schools. I think there would have to be, you know, potentially on the age of the kids, you might have to consider a crossing guard, something like that. There is a resident, you know, that's a lot of residential right in that area. So you'd certainly have to be thinking about that. If there are older kids, potentially not. But yeah, until we get there, it's kind of hard exactly to know how we would approach that.
It just didn't seem like it would hinder any future development, though.
I don't believe so.
Trustee Peterson, we'll just go down the line if you have questions.
Okay. Question, financially speaking. So it says not to exceed 2 million. Let's assume they went with that $2 million price tag. $1,000 per dwelling, that's 1,850 homes for that $1,000 each. And we ended up with the max out of pocket of 150. Is there any chance that homes will continue to sell or be built or whatever, and that $1,000 donation will continue and work back on that 150,000 that we paid?
Yeah, thank you for the question. That's exactly what continues to happen. So there's still quite a bit of land back there that is being developed, and on every one of those homes that fee is being collected. I will say that the number of, so the initial estimate was they were expecting to have 1,850 51 units, I think it was, when it was all said and done. The problem they ran into, and we tried to help them with this to find a solution. The 1,850 was dependent on them finding a spine road that would run at least from Robinson, but I think it might actually have been 5th Street, but from 5th Street all the way up to Highway 50. And the problem they ran into was they couldn't find a place on Highway 50 to bring the road in. And so I know they were working with owners of all the properties on that south side of Highway 50, but they weren't able to come to any kind of agreement to allow for that. So without that spine road, it has limited the number of units that they can develop back there. But even with that, because of the language of the agreement, we're still only have that $150,000 obligation. So I don't know the total number at this point. I could ask Hope Sullivan. I'm sure she knows the answer to that, but I know it's not the 1,850 that it was at one point.
I have one more follow-up on the cost also. You said that's sitting in an escrow account. So as that land sits and we wait to decide what we're doing with it, we're paying, I would assume, a property tax or anything on it? What do we, or is it just sit?
Yeah, by NRS, we're, as a local government entity, we don't have to pay property taxes. Not to say that there isn't going to be thought now over time about what we can do with that land. I mean, I think, again, there's just a lot of options and different ways that we can use that. I think to some extent, seeing how the rest of that area does develop and the number of homes might impact a little bit. And, you know, if things change as the city does continue to grow, if enrollments would adjust again at some point. I expect there's going to be some turnover and hopefully younger families coming into the community, and maybe that would add to enrollment. So I think, you know, we're not necessarily in a rush, but clearly if there is a need, or even if it's a programming need, maybe there's, you know, there's some type of offering we would like to have for Carson High School that we can't really fit on the existing campus in a good place. And maybe that would be the natural spot because it is still right attached or next to campus.
Any additional questions? Yes, Trustee Roberts?
Good questions, Michelle. Just to follow up with that, as we collect, if more homes sell, is that going to the capital improvement fund, or does it stay and just go towards that development, or what are we doing there?
Yeah, it's a good question. So those dollars all are due to the developer. So even though we have closed and we now have the title on the land, as those dollars continue to flow into the district, we annually will have to move those back. We have to send them over to the developer over time.
I love that you mentioned perhaps expanding opportunities for the high school students. I've been to Carson's campus and they have great CTE programs, but some of their rooms and their equipment are getting a little outdated, and be great to have a career and technical academy, but that's just my little bias. But I also am wondering, being that we have the deed, should it come down to it in the future where that land belongs to us, we could sell it potentially, dictate in order to make up funding shortfalls?
So we could, I mean, there's some restrictions because of the zoning that's on it. There's only so many buyers potentially. I'm almost certain, I would have to check, but if you sell real property, any of the proceeds you take from that have to be used again in a capital type way. So it would end up going back into our capital projects fund, and we would, you know, use it to do an expansion onto a facility or knock one down and build a new one, right? But the proceeds could not go back to just like general fund costs.
But we could sell it and perhaps like use it to upgrade some of our older schools that have outdated equipment and facilities.
That's correct.
Anyone else? All right, thank you very much. Any additions? No, thank you. All right, that moves us to agenda item number 8, and is discussed. We're going to discuss for first reading the proposed changes to the following objective policies of the Carson City School District Board of Trustees. This will be policy 104, 106, and 107. So if you can bring your attention to those policies only for right now. And the reason being, and as you can note in blue, in policy 104, and thank you, Renee, for doing this and following along with us at our last meeting, we have the strike-throughs that we had suggested. and those would be on the second page of the policy. So everything that we had suggested being eliminated or changed has been noted on here, I believe. But I look at you to ensure that you see it as well. Okay. And then at this time, I will ask our legal counsel because there was additional information that was added. And so then I just ask our legal counsel if he would comment on the additions or the deletions and what brought you to those.
All right. Mr. President, I will be as brief as I can for you. In all three of these policies that I worked on, we were really just doing some housekeeping and bringing them up to date with current laws. And that's what you'll see throughout. And in each one, they're essentially heightening both transparency and protections afforded to ensure there's no discrimination taking place. So in 104, you'll notice that at the beginning, there is some additional protections that the school district is prohibited from discriminating on, including hair texture, protective hairstyles such as afros, bantu knots, curls, braids, locks and twists, religious creed, and service in the uniformed military services. And that carries through to the other two additions on page 2. It's the district asserting the policy that it's committed to ensuring equitable education opportunities and a respectful learning environment for all students, and promoting an environment where every student is respected, valued, and supported in achieving their full potential.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Were there any questions on policy 104? Yes, Trustee Peterson. And who are you addressing the question to?
It's not so much a question as much as a grammar.
Yep, go ahead.
On the first page, the second to last paragraph that starts, the board authorizes and directs non-discrimination policy period, and to ensure coordination. I was just questioning that if we drop the period and just keep it going as a sentence.
Yep.
It just felt off to me.
Okay, thank you.
That's all.
Anyone else? Yes, Trustee Ramirez.
So, the last paragraph, again, on policy 104, the last paragraph on the first page, where it says the following person or persons, is it possible to say position instead of person? Because we are listing a title, not the name of a person.
But I do think we need clarification on that, though, because the paragraph before that says that the board authorizes and directs the superintendent or his or her designee to develop and implement. And are we to then assume that this is a school district, correct? Or it could be you?
I think to Trustee Ramirez's point, because it goes on to the next page, it actually identifies the Title IX coordinator. And so I think she's saying we could use the word position instead of person so that we don't have to change the policy every time we fill that with somebody else.
Oh, I like that. Very good.
Fair, Trustee Ramirez? Okay.
So it would be the following
Yeah.
position.
I think that's much more clear.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay. All right. And thank you to our legal counsel for ensuring that, that now we are compliant with, federal and state law and everything else. So I appreciate that. If there is no more, this is only for discussion. So if there's no more discussion, we're going to move on to policy 106.
So policy 106 is our parental engagement policy. And this had to be updated as a result of not only changes in the law, but of Supreme Court interpretation. It's mandating essentially transparency between parents and the schools. It's clarifying that the schools are not permitted to withhold the information you see added to policy 106 from parents. And it gets into the mandate that some of you guys probably remember that we've heard discussed when family life comes up, that those are strictly opt-in mandates. So we've included the language in here that when there is sensitive personal topics, religious development, moral beliefs, and that sort of thing, that students are afforded an alternative academic assignment provided without penalty, if that's what the parents choose to do. It also goes on to provide notice and an opportunity to opt in or out of certain curriculum as it comes up. Otherwise, it was just a little cleanup on here and bringing it in line with the law. And when that comes up, I just for complete transparency, the law always trumps a policy. We want our policies to be in line with the law, and that's why we do this. But we're always going to be governed by the current state of the law. That's always going to be the trump factor, for lack of a better term.
I appreciate that clarification. And then you will also notice within Policy 106, the changes that we discussed at our last meeting have been changed and are highlighted in blue as well. We added items 7, 8, and 9. And I just wanted to make sure you all had a opportunity to look at those as well. And we did that. And we have a question?
I do, on page number 2. Item number 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth line from the top where it says decision making, could we add a dash there? It says parents in shared decision making. And then at the bottom on.
I'm sorry, I did not follow you. I
Okay.
am not finding it.
Page number,
You want
item
decision
number
making
5.
hyphenated? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Yes. Okay, so we would
The fourth, yeah,
do a
the fourth
dash.
sentence.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then item number 9, where it says student success teams, so families shall be encouraged. Could we add highly encouraged so we are consistent with what we mentioned at a previous number that now I cannot identify it.
Number 4.
But we had mentioned, yeah, we had
Okay.
mentioned highly encouraged. So we can we add that so we can be consistent?
Mm-hmm. And I do believe you mentioned that at the last meeting, and I omitted that, so I apologize. Not that I disagreed, but I guess I just didn't add it. Any others? Yes, go ahead. Trustee Roberts.
On same policy, same page, number 3, we have parents play an integral role in assisting student learning. I know we were changing a lot of the parents to families.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to do that as well?
I like it. Okay, anything else? Trustee Peterson?
I've got a couple things to ask about. The language on number 3 that was added in the blue about protecting if they want to opt out. Did this language come from anywhere specific? Like, is this mandated language?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not open for change.
Well, and as long as we don't change the substance of it, if you don't like the language, we can work on it as long as it's still consistent with the spirit of what's being said.
And like he said too, the law is always going to trump whatever we change it to. Or could trump it.
While you're looking at that paragraph in particular, when we think about Trustee Ramirez's comment about changing parents to family, we have to be careful that probably won't be a universal change. We could say parents or guardians, but not all of a person's family is going to have access to education records, for example. So we got to be a little clear with the distinction.
Guardian.
So we'll just be careful with that. But we can use families where we can.
Well, because I do see how we are, if we start number 3 with families, but then we go into the blue part where you added it, it then goes to guarantees parents the right to proactive. So I'm not quite sure then we might want to then
We
just
might
keep
want to keep it,
parents.
and also in that
Yeah.
first paragraph,
Okay, we'll
it says
keep
the
it.
term parent refers to any caregiver who assumes responsibility for nurturing, blah, 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 blah. So
Okay.
maybe it's covered there that what parent entails, and we don't need to change all
Okay.
of those.
Yeah, so Renee, we're not going to be changing 3. The first word parents, we will not be changing it to families. We'll leave it at parents. Thank you.
So then in the new blue section, where it talks about, they can, opt out or request a supplemental curricula if it intersects with the family's religious development, moral belief, or sensitive personal topics, with an alternate assignment provided. Sensitive personal topics, is very subjective. Is there any like guidance in, like if this is language that we've been given, is there any guidance of,
I can find
Parameters
some
on
and see
that?
if I can find less, I don't know, nefarious language if you want.
oh,
I don't know what the words are.
okay. And then it doesn't necessarily say who gets to decide that it's a sensitive personal topic and I want something else. Is that something like, is there going to be a process for that or somebody in particular? Because like I read that and I could see some students saying, yeah, I don't like this. It's sensitive. I'm not going to do that. Give me something else.
That's
Like,
why I think this is in the parent engagement policy, because ultimately it's the parent's decision to opt out of curriculum.
okay.
And the intent is to give them the ability to do so, I think, when they feel something is a sensitive personal topic. I think the better question is, when does that get identified and give them the opportunity? Because if a parent comes and says on their own, I'm going to opt out of this particular curriculum, we have to honor that. But if we haven't notified them, that's, I think, where the issue comes up. When do we decide to notify parents of a sensitive personal topic? And I can work on that language a little more.
And that's something that can maybe be, I don't know if this has a procedure attached to it, but if it were to, I guess.
Your regulation.
Okay.
Don't
sorry,
do
regulation.
procedures, yeah, regulation.
One of those words. And then section 1, I wanted to ask about the blue. Is that another section that was, like, where did we get that verbiage from? Why are we adding that subject material into this policy?
The short answer is, in the Supreme Court cases that came out, they used this language. I don't think it's mandated to be in there. So if there's a part, is there a part of this language that you don't like, or do you not like the entire blue
Yes,
part?
I am not comfortable with the addition of the, like, with well-being and health, but with specifically social and gender transitioning at school, that the school personnel shall not withhold, conceal, or forego sharing that. I appreciate that it's worded in a way that there's not an obligation to initiate that conversation. Like the school isn't required to say, hey, guess what? But if they are approached, the way I read that, they have to be honest and say, yes, your son has been asking us to call him Brittany or whatever it may be. I do not love that for a few reasons. And I've had a few people reach out to me who are safe spaces within the schools and express concern that a lot of delicate conversations that they have, they are the safe place. They are the place where students who are having a hard time or trying to figure things out go, and their families, unfortunately, are not. And there's, unfortunately, families who will kick you out or disown you or abuse you or be completely terrible to you if that is somewhere that you find yourself. And I think taking away that confidentiality from the safe adults, like the staff within the walls of our school may be the only safe adults in these children's lives. Or they may be on the other side and they are overflowing with safe places to have conversation. But to require, if a parent were to come in and ask that kind of information, I think encouraging a kid to have a conversation with their parent is appropriate, but us mandating that our safe adults have to divulge that kind of information, just, it makes me uneasy and I really don't love it.
Okay, so I'm going to tackle all that if I can. The short answer is regardless of what the policy says, our staff cannot withhold that information if they're asked. As a matter of law, they cannot withhold that information. The only exception is for a abuse or neglect issue. If there's a reasonable belief that divulging the information will result in abuse or neglect, then the district is mandated to go through the process with DCFS on how to inform the parents and to make sure that it is a safe informing. But as a matter of law, we cannot withhold that information.
As a matter of law, are we required to have it in here?
No.
How-
I think it's strictly compliant with the law, which
Is why
is smart.
it's protecting. Am I wrong to say that this would be protecting
Yeah,
us?
I think it's protecting transparency. It's
Right.
protecting a parent's right to participate in the education of their kids, and it's protecting the district's obligation to provide that transparency to parents.
And I think this all came about from school districts not informing parents of certain items and their kids are, I guess, doing, for lack of a better term,
Or what?
that they're in, what they're involved in,
Mhm.
and the parents are not being informed, but the school is aware of it. And maybe in some cases, the schools were really assisting. So I'm not really upset about this language in here. I think we should keep it.
And I want to say too, I believe I read something that it changed in March of 2025.
Well, it did, and the protections afforded every which way are moving more and more toward complete transparency. And in this case, with parental engagement, that's a constitutional right. It is the right to raise your kids and be involved in their education. So I understand, Trustee Peterson, what you're saying, but I think it's the law, for lack of a better term.
I do. Oh, do you have a
It really will not change anything if language is removed.
What's that?
It won't change anything if the language is
No.
removed. We still are obligated.
I think it's smart for the district to have a paper trail of staying up on these and being as compliant as possible. I think it's also good notification for all the parents that are looking to understand the legal waters that you guys have to swim in. And so it's not always a comfortable conversation, but I think it's a legal one, and it's giving full transparent.
And that's what I heard as well from parents, is the appreciation of the transparency of updating these policies. Because again, a few parents that reached out were unaware, and now they're aware. Just because, yeah, it's here. I do have a question though too, because this was brought so it says students, but what happens if the student is a senior and turns 18 in the month of March? They're still a student, but they're 18.
Parental rights extend through the end of the school year.
All right. Okay, any additional? Okay, Trustee Roberts?
Just going back on your comments, Michelle, on number 3, where you're saying that, like, what stops a student from saying, like, oh, this goes against or it's a personal topic for me. At the beginning of that blue, it says, to protect this integral role, the district guarantees parents the right to proactive advance notice. Is that what that's saying? That's how I'm reading it. It's the parent comes in to say it, not necessarily the students just constantly opting out of things.
Right.
Am I reading that right?
Yeah, it's a parental decision, and
Okay.
I think to Trustee Walt's point or Trustee Peterson, of when do we know something's a sensitive topic? One way is if a student says this is a sensitive topic, then the district can, under this policy, alert the parents that that's been made and let the parent make that decision.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so do we have any other comments? Oh, yes, go ahead.
Number 8, you just need an Oxford comma after attendance.
Okay, wait.
9, how the multi-tiered systems of support, is that at the end of the sentence hanging there with a semicolon? First of all, annoys me, but is that referring to the student success teams? Like, should the MTSS be like in parentheses because it's describing the student success teams? Otherwise, it looks like it's just hanging out there.
Because it's the acronym or so?
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Like, and student success teams such as the multi-tiered,
Yeah.
da-da-da-da, right?
Okay.
Not the semicolon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Perfect. Okay, and again, this was for first reading. Any others? So this was discussion only. All right, we're moving on to policy 107. This was for discussion only as well, first reading. And you see that there was additions to page 3. Are there any comments, concerns, or questions? Yes, go ahead.
Mine are just two quick grammar. The second page, under the heading Education, in that big paragraph that begins with the district is committed. Towards the very end, the third paragraph from the bottom, do not qualify or require special education or related services pursuant to the Individuals with Disability Act. We could add to. And then on the third page, in the paragraph under non-academic and extracurricular services, midway, the start of the sentence is activities, comma, special interest groups. Can we remove the apostrophe S from special interests group? Just special interest groups.
Groups, okay.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. Any other comments?
I would make the same recommendation as on policy number 104. Under compliance, the following person, change that to position.
Any others? Okay, this was for discussion only, which then brings us back. Okay, so we will close
Quick
that.
question, quick
Oh, sorry.
question.
Yes, uh-huh.
On 107 on page 3, there was just an odd break on that first paragraph. On the fourth line down.
Someone hit enter.
And I did have a question about the use of service animals and permitting them on campus. I know as a building principal, I ran into this issue in Clark County when we had students who had pet allergies. And then we had another student who wanted to bring their service animal, and it was a conflict. And we had to get our lawyers involved. So I was just curious as to what is the policy about students having service animals? If it conflicts with the health and well-being of other animals or other students who have pet allergies.
Renee's just telling us that there is a separate policy on service animals. I can email it around to you guys.
Okay. Look. So then what I would suggest, since this is the first reading, we would definitely want to make sure that that policy aligns with this policy. So we'll go back and, is that sufficient? Okay. And then when you're doing so too, can you just make sure that it accurately reflects Nevada state, the Nevada law and yeah.
Like federal.
Yeah, federal law, thank you on that. Okay. Are we done with section 107? Perfect. All right, so then the section policy 101, this is for second reading and for action, but how I would like to do this is we are going to take policy 101, 102, 103, and 105. Those 4 policies are for second reading and for action, but we will go ahead and look at them separately. But when making the motion, if you would please include all 4 policies for second reading action. As you can see with 101, the changes that we had discussed at our previous meeting a month ago are here. I have reviewed them, and unless you all see something different. Any questions on 101? Yes.
Just grammar again. The final paragraph in blue, the board accepts the responsibility for coordinating partnerships between of home. Can we remove of, please?
Between home, okay.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
And that also needs the Oxford comma.
What's that?
That sentence needs the Oxford comma after school.
Oh, okay. All righty. Any others?
I do have a question on the second line of that same paragraph, where it says school and community in a mutual effort to guide every individual who can effectively evaluate society and direct. Can we change that who can to who so that we can include all students? It says the board accepts the responsibility for coordinating partnerships between to home and school and community in a mutual effort to guide every individual. So changing instead of saying who can to effectively evaluate.
In a mutual effort to guide this last sentence here. So which trustee Ramirez is asking for is it says the board accepts the responsibility of coordinating partnerships between home, school, and community in a mutual effort to guide every individual. Instead of who, it would be to.
To effectively evaluate.
To, and so instead of who can.
Correct.
It would be individual to effectively, okay? And when you make the motion, you just, if you go with the changes that we're making, you would just say, as changes were presented. We don't have to go through every individual change. Any others? All right, seeing none, let's move on to.
I do have some, I
Oops,
don't know if somebody brought it up, I may have missed it, but
I'm trying.
on the third paragraph, that third line down,
Uh-huh.
it says, needed to realize the educational goals of this and experiences. So maybe just, should this be there?
We have it crossed out. It is
Have it
striked
marked
out.
off already?
Yeah, it is striked
Okay.
out, yeah.
Okay, I
it
see
says
that now.
goals
Thank you.
of- Yeah, not a problem. All right, moving on to section number 102, policy 102. And again, we didn't have many changes within the original policy. We did want to strike out who has the potential of inner strength, and we just struck that out. And then, but we did add at the end, we add digital literacy, and emerging technologies in college and career and workforce readiness. Are there any suggestions, changes, comments? Yep.
Grammar. Second paragraph, the goals are related. The second sentence, perform objectives for the learners, comma, identify tasks to be performed. Can we add an S to the end of tasks to plural that?
Identify tasks.
And then my only other one was kind of a question about a word. Under individual values and attitudes, education should expand and advance the humane dimensions of all learners, especially by helping them to identify and cultivate their own spiritual, moral, and ethical values and attitudes. I have a question about spiritual. I know it has many meanings, but it also is quite heavily tied to religious. Is that word, like, do we feel like that's an appropriate one to leave in there, or switch to personal, to their personal moral and ethical values, or does anybody have an opinion on that?
Anyone?
I agree with you, and I would suggest a comma after the word moral as well, but I like the personal, their own personal moral and ethical values and attitudes.
I agree.
Okay.
So change the word spiritual to personal and strike out the comma.
So its own personal,
Moral and ethical values, attitudes.
moral, ethical values, comma, and attitudes. All right, I'm just going to check in with Renee here for a moment. Are you getting them? I got it. Okay, she's getting it. All right, thank you so much. Okay. Any others?
I have one on the last college and career workforce readiness.
Mm-hmm.
After entrepreneurship, there should be a comma, and then workforce because we used it as a compound word
Or
in the
use
first
it together.
title, put it in the the last word of the sentence.
Okay, so eliminate the space. Okay,
Under creative interest and talents, on the last sentence, could we add platforms so that it will read, and to develop natural talents and to express values and feelings through various media platforms?
I'm lost, so sorry.
That's under creative interest and talents.
Hmm.
On the second page.
I'm sorry, would you repeat yourself?
Yes, so on the second sentence, could we add the word platforms at the end so that it will read,
Various media platforms, yeah, okay.
are you
Yep, I
with
found
me?
you.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm. I'm refusing to put on my glasses, so sorry. Refusing. Okay. Any others? Okay, moving on then to policy 103. Again, we discussed changes that have, the strike-throughs, and then we have our additions as well. And so please, what are we thinking? Go ahead.
Number 8, with the way the rest of this reads, that just feels to say teaching staff members of high quality. Feels a little clunky. Can we maybe either teachers and staff members of high quality, or highly qualified instructional staff? Just something a little less clunky.
Highly qualified staff? Is that, okay, highly qualified staff?
I like that a lot because then you're not just focusing on the teachers in the classroom. You're talking about all your staff being highly qualified.
Okay.
So you're saying teaching of high-quality staff?
Just high quality,
High-quality.
or, no, highly qualified staff. Highly qualified staff. I know that came off like I came up with that, but I did not. I will give credit when credit is due. That was Superintendent Fueling. Yes, thank you. Okay. I'm not quite sure, where is it? Oh, I need to put on my glasses. Darn it. Number 11, and you can correct me all if this is incorrect, but should data informed be hyphenated? Okay, so data informed would be hyphenated, decision making hyphenated as well. Okay. Let's see what else. There was one. We did, yeah. Okay. That was all I had. Anyone else?
Number 5,
Mm-hmm.
could we add the word academic in there where it says comprehensive? Currently, it says comprehensive guidance services for each student. Could we add comprehensive academic? Are we referring to academics? Guiding them
I
academically?
don't think we were, no, I don't think it was
What do we mean by
specific.
that? Just
Um,
guidance in general?
yes, uh-huh. Wasn't it? That's the intention.
So then could we add the word general guidance?
Can you turn on your thing? I was thinking of the old term of guidance counselors, right? And so there could be academic guidance, there could be, they might be having some mental
Now we have the
health
social
issues.
workers.
Yeah, so I think just generic
Generic guidance?
guidance
Generic
services
guidance?
is all kind of
Okay,
wrapped up in
I'm
there.
okay with that.
Yeah.
To support that, I'd point out in the opening, it says, in order to achieve the educational goals, ... the educational program. So I think it's okay to not be redundant with education in that.
All right, any additional to 103? Great, let's go ahead and move on to 105. 105 was short and sweet. We didn't have much. Yeah, so just, do you see anything glaring that needs to be changed or suggestions? Go ahead.
One grammar thing again, second paragraph, when it says employee management with a hyphen, that is not a normal dash. That needs to just be adjusted.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
On Carson City School District Board of Trustees, do we need to add the board in parentheses at the end
Oh, to be consistent,
to be consistent, yes, with the rest of?
do we? Oh, we do, like in 101, we put board in parentheses. Yeah, so it says the
Parentheses
Carson
and
City School District Board
quotations.
of Trustees, and then we just say board. And I would say it's probably not there due to the fact that that was the first usage, the first and only usage of that. Am I correct, Renee? I would think so. That's my understanding, yeah. Is so the reason we, in previous policies, we put board in parentheses because throughout that policy, when Carson City School District Board of
Okay.
Trustees is being referred to, it gets taken off and is just referred to as board.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense to me. That's
yeah.
fine.
So I don't think we need to do that. All right, any others? All right, then I'm ready for a motion. And you can just say changes as reflected or as presented.
I'll make it.
All right, thank you.
Yes, okay, I move that the Carson City School District Board of Trustees approve July 28th, 2026 as the revised date on the following objective policies of the board. Policy 101, do I need to say, Ryan, what the policy is, or can I just refer to the number?
You can just refer to the numbers.
Okay.
Um,
Policy 101, policy 102, policy 103, and policy 105 with the suggested edits.
All right, do I have a second? All right, so I have a motion by trustee Roberts, seconded by trustee Ramirez. Do I have any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, that closes agenda item number 8. Moves us on to agenda item number 9. This agenda item is for discussion and possible action to approve the Carson City School District Board of Trustees nominations to the Nevada Association of School Boards, NASB, for individuals to be considered for recognition during NASB's 2026 annual conference. This is for possible action. You have in your packet the different categories that we were looked at to make our nominations. I would like to thank trustee Ramirez, trustee Roberts, and trustee Peterson for working on this. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to trustee Ramirez to tell us your findings, please.
Thank you, President Wald. So we met and reviewed the nominations that were submitted from the district community, which we thank them again for making time to nominate their peers. I think that's extremely helpful to us. And so we identify the top 3 in each category, if there were that many nominations. If not, we identified the strongest nominations to bring to share with you guys so we can all make a decision as a board. And so how we decided to do this was to share with you the statements that were provided for each candidate, and then we will decide if we want to go with those. We're going to take turns. I'm going to start off with the school administrator, and then Trustee Roberts, you will take the next one, and then Trustee Peterson will do the last.
And you will
category.
be going in line with how we have it in our packet? I'm hoping.
We only did the ones that we got nominations for, and those are the school administrator, the district level administrator of the year, impacting student achievement, innovative educator of the year, and employee making a difference.
All right, so then I'm going to ask.
And I'm so sorry, one more. Friends of K through 12. So if we could, if you agree, if we could do this first, and then we can go back and review the ones that are in the packet, so we can.
The ones that are in the packet that we don't have nominations for?
Mhm.
Are we going to
Is that okay?
refer back to you then, Superintendent Fueling? Oh, got it. All right, so sorry. All right, yeah, sounds great.
Does that make sense?
Yep, go.
Okay, then I will start off with the school administrator. And again, we'll be sharing the statements that were provided by the district community. The first one is for Mr. Josh Billings. Josh Billings has been an outstanding advocate for the Carson High School NJROTC program consistently demonstrating unwavering support for our cadets and program mission throughout the year. As our CTE Vice Principal, he has worked tirelessly to ensure our cadets have the resources, opportunities, and encouragement needed to succeed both in and out of the classroom. His dedication to student leadership development and commitment to our program have made a lasting positive impact on our cadets and the overall success of the program. And statement number 2, Mr. Billings is a very nice and passionate administrator. He truly has our students' best interest at heart, and every decision that he makes is driven toward the goal. I can attest to it because I witnessed it throughout the year. Mr. Billings empowers his subordinates. He facilitates their success while motivating them through his daily actions. After being a leader in the U.S. Navy for over 20 years, I can attest to Mr. Billings' leadership style and skills. I would work for him, in his eyes, with him, anytime and anywhere, because he is all about taking care of his organization and its people, and he understands what utilizing the full capacity of his resources looks like. He facilitates the success of CTE. That's statement number 2. Statement number 3, the nominator says, I'd like to nominate Josh for School Administrator of the Year. At the heart of Josh's leadership is an unwavering commitment to students. In every conversation, proposal, initiative, or plan, Josh consistently returns to one guiding question: how will this positively impact students? This student-first philosophy is deeply embedded in every aspect of his work. Josh builds authentic, positive relationships with students and intentionally guides those interactions toward future-focused thinking. He helps students see possibility in themselves, encouraging them to envision pathways beyond high school while helping them connect their strengths, passions, and opportunities to meaningful futures. Josh is a true instructional leader who is deeply invested in teaching and learning. He understands that the strength of a school is built through the growth of its educators. So those are the 3 statements that were provided for Mr. Josh Billings. And then the other individual that was nominated for this category was Miss Gary Pryor. So Miss Pryor is an exceptional principal whose many years of experience are evident in her leadership, dedication, and commitment to our school community. She consistently creates a positive and welcoming environment, always leading with a smile and a genuine passion for her work. She goes above and beyond to support and recognize staff members for their contributions, fostering a culture of appreciation and excellence, respected and admired by students, staff, and families alike. Ms. Pryor is truly the heart of the school. That's the second nominee. And then the third one is Mr. Nathan Brigham. Having spent 20 years in school administration, I can confidently state that Nathan Brigham is among the finest leaders I have ever worked with. Over his 2-decade tenure at Empire Elementary, he has seamlessly transitioned from a high-performing classroom teacher and instructional coach to a transformative assistant principal. As AP, Mr. Brigham completely overhauled our MTSS committee into a highly effective framework and championed a proactive attendance initiative that improved school attendance by an incredible 30%. Through his impeccable leadership in implementing PLCs and his deeply respectful, caring approach to student support, he consistently ensures that both teachers and students have every tool necessary to succeed. So those are the top 3 nominations that we wanted to present to the rest of the board as potential applicants for that category.
So I would ask then, did the committee have a recommendation?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Did the committee have a recommendation?
So we are, from what I recall, we are able to identify two, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That you, okay,
Yeah,
so
so
you've
these are the
already.
top three.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that would have been easier if you brought two to us.
Yep.
Okay, so.
So you girls are welcome to add, yeah, to the conversation. Yeah, go ahead.
Part of our decision-making was those individuals that had several nominations. So it's of note in that category that Josh Billings did receive 3 nominations. And that's one of the reasons that he made that.
And because our job does not disqualify anybody off the list, I will say the list just so that you know everybody that was nominated on the table. Josh Billings, Carrie Pryor, Nathan Brigham, Sue Molden, Cheryl Macy, Lois Lenahan, A.B. Robinson, and then Rosella Jordan and Christine Perkins were nominated, but they are not administrators, so they're off that list. But those were all the names presented. That doesn't mean that's exclusive and that's the only people that, like, if somebody else has a name in their pocket that they really want to, but of those, our task, we came to the top 3 or no more than, in our opinion.
Okay, so how I would like to do this then is, we need to do the top 2, and then we're gonna do this as a, one motion for all categories at that time. And so, please, write them down as we go. So at this time then, do I have somebody who would, fill in the 2 lines? We recommend that blank, and blank be nominated for School Administrator of the Year.
I'll start. I would recommend Josh Billings and Carrie Pryor.
Do I? And, yes, hold on. Okay. All right, so I'm going to make this simple. Does anybody disagree? All right, seeing none, we're moving on. Okay, next.
Here, yeah.
All right. So, employee making a difference. We have Kelly Ferretti, office manager at Carson Middle. Kelly is incredible and is truly the heart of CMS. She always has time for staff, truly listens to them and those who call the school with various issues and makes sure they are assisted each time. Kelly has a heart of gold and will help the students in the front office who are struggling and makes genuine connections with students that make a difference in their lives. She has the best interest of those around her at heart and makes everyone around her feel seen and heard and makes a difference at our school every day. And then we have Mike Ulrich, custodian at Mark Twain. Mike keeps teachers supplied with everything we need to provide engaging and meaningful lessons for students. He keeps our school clean and functioning optimally. Each year, he increases student involvement in the work by inviting students to participate as a clean crew hero, helping with tasks and taking ownership of the school building. He thoughtfully integrates his ideas with the MTSS process, asking how he can award positive points or make his opportunities available in our school store for students to purchase. For 2 years, he has shared his knowledge about quail incubation and hatching with our students, giving time above and beyond his contracted time. Mike has a way of connecting with some of our most challenging students, giving them a reason to look forward to school, and another adult that is cheering them on. This year, we recognize him as at our site as a friend of MTSS and the heart of the hallways, and I believe his efforts deserve to be acknowledged at a broader level. And then Lauren Semino, I think is how you say that. She was also nominated under District Level Admin of the Year. So I'm going to read that one for, or the one for District Employee, but I think, Michelle, you're also reading her nomination for District Level Admin, correct? Okay. So her nomination for District Employee making a difference is she's the CTE Curriculum Coordinator. Our curriculum coordinator has been one of the most influential people in my growth as a teacher. She has spent countless hours helping me develop proficient skills, improve my curriculum, and think more deeply about my instruction. She has always been willing to answer questions, provide feedback, and support new ideas, no matter how busy she was. I can honestly say that I would not be the teacher I am today without the time, patience, and guidance she has given me. While I am excited for her next chapter, I am deeply saddened that we will not have her with us next year. Her impact on our department and our students cannot be overstated, and her absence in CTE will be felt by all of us.
Okay, so I have a question then.
Yes.
So with that, you presented 3, we have 2, but one of those one of those individuals you're also going to be nominating in different categories, is that correct?
Yes, and I believe we talked about, let's see, where is she at?
I'm going to make it easy
Yeah,
for you
go
real
ahead,
quick.
Michelle.
I was just notified Lauren Semino actually is not in this category. She is not a district level admin per this, so she's not available for this nomination.
For
Yeah.
for district employee making a difference. Okay, so now we're down to, well, we're on,
You're right. You're right. I apologize. It's district admin, so it's the next one.
okay, so
Carry
she
on.
she is not qualified for both. She is just qualified for the one that you just read. Okay, I'm going to ask you then, which do you feel is this committee? Does she have the best chance of winning? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, so if you could please then repeat the 2 names.
Mike's off. Okay, so then it's Kelly Ferretti and Mike Ulrich. Mike
Okay.
Ulrich was the custodian at Mark Twain, and Kelly Ferretti is the office manager at CMS.
Okay, so you recommend Mike Ulrich and Kelly Ferretti.
Yes. I wanted to ask on Kelly. I noticed in our supplemental stuff in the back of our packet has resigned effective this, I think in August is technically her date. Is that, are we comfortable? I mean, she's got a good 10 years in that position, but she's no longer with the district by the time we're having this ceremony.
Oh, well then, no. I mean, my own personal opinion would be no. We want somebody with the district.
Yeah, I just noticed it in the packet today.
Okay, yeah, because our nominations are submitted in August. So then we would be looking for a second one.
Okay. And I do have a recommendation of my own. I know we can bring those forward. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Mhm. Yes, so please share.
Okay, so mine would be Catherine Unruh. She's a speech pathologist at Fremont Elementary. She just goes above and beyond. She notices when kids are having a bad day, and she'll reach out to families just to make sure, is anything going on? Is there something that she can do? She takes the time to educate families and send supports home. She encourages them, puts home packets together for children to work on. She's patient and kind and breaks barriers with tough kids. I've seen her care for kids and work with kids and know names of kids that are not in her speech path classes. And I think that just goes to show her passion for education and working with these young learners. And she just builds trusts and bonds and is professional, but also down to earth and personable. And I just can't say enough good things about what I've seen. And
Okay. Does anybody else have any additionals that they would like to nominate? All right, seeing none, I believe then we have our 2 nominations. So we have Mike Aldridge and Catherine, last name?
Unruh,
Unruh. Okay.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's
How do you say it?
UNRUH.
UNRUH. Okay, thank you.
I know her as Miss Kathy, so.
All right. All right, great. So we're good there. Moving on to the next one, which would be the district level admin of the year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that's you, Michelle?
Yep,
Or the
that
trustee?
is me. For this one, there were only 2 submitted. Christine Perkins was submitted twice, and Lauren Semino was submitted once, and that was the one that I misspoke earlier. This is the category, district level admin, that Lauren Semino does not qualify for. So I think by default, Christy Perkins. I mean, not just by default; she's amazing. unless we have others that would like to be suggested, but I will go ahead and read her nominations for Christy Perkins. Christy consistently works to support the Carson City School District's most vulnerable students. She has built systems that support and promote wellness and academic achievement, including her work leading the district intervention assistance team, McKinney-Vento Student Mental Health Services, attendance, and school nursing. Her leadership and dedication not only students, but her staff makes her highly deserving of recognition by the Nevada Association of School Boards. And Christy is a visionary leader who consistently prioritizes the whole child, recognizes that academic success is closely connected to students' social, emotional, behavioral, and mental health needs. Under her leadership, the district has successfully updated its suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention policy using the best practices and evidence-based approaches, guiding it through the board approval to strengthen student safety and support. Recognizing the mental health needs of the students, the growing mental health needs of the students, Christy saw the need for expanding school-based mental health services and actively supported their growth through the district. She spearheaded the development of the District Intervention Assistance Team DIAT model, bringing together district staff and community partners to collaboratively support students experiencing behavioral, attendance, academic, health, and mental health challenges. Christy also helped to streamline a comprehensive threat assessment team process to ensure thorough assessments. Sorry, I do have my glasses on, but I think they need an update. And proactive safety planning within our schools. In addition, Christy has guided MTSS implementation throughout the district, ensuring that systems of support and data-driven collaboration and responsive to student needs. She has maintained a strong partnership with the University of Nevada, Reno MTSS team. So currently, Christy is our only
And we
eligible.
can, yeah, we can only, I mean, if we don't have to have two. So I would recommend that we just stay with the one.
I do have a nomination.
Okay.
Candy Robles, is she a district level administrator? She's not
No.
considered? Never mind then.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so if you don't, then we will go ahead and just do one. We recommend that it would be Christy Perkins. Okay, moving on. What's our next category?
That we have papers on.
Yes, that you
would
have
be the
nominated.
friend of K-12.
Okay, where is that? Hold on.
And that is, I don't know, it has two pencils holding hands at the top.
Got it. Okay, and who is going to present this nomination?
That is me, Molly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we have, Sean Palmer, SRO at CHS in the district, and he has two nominations. Go ahead with those. In Carson City, we are fortunate to have a culture where school resource officers work collaboratively with schools in both preventative and restorative ways. Sean has not only embraced this model, he has elevated it. He has worked intentionally to add another defining quality to the relationship between SROs and our school community, inclusivity. Sean ensures that every student, staff member, and stakeholder feels seen, heard, and valued. Sean approaches his role with creativity and innovation. He has taken initiative in strengthening our campus cybersecurity measures, and he has been a strong advocate for increased training for administrators and the broader community to ensure our schools remain safe and prepared. His proactive mindset reflects a deep commitment not just to safety, but to education as a whole. What truly sets Sean apart, however, is his ability to connect. He is a constant positive presence on campus, whether he's playing basketball with students, checking in one-on-one with those who need support, or simply making the rounds to connect with teachers, counselors, and administrators. His humor, kindness, and reflective nature make him incredibly approachable, and students trust him because he consistently shows up for them as a person first. Sean is also deeply embedded in our system of support. He actively participates in district intervention teams, collaborates closely with our juvenile probation officers, and is intentional in building relationships with our most at-risk students. His work is preventative in the truest sense, grounded in connection, understanding, and early intervention. Recently, Sean partnered with our district MTSS staff to develop and deliver a presentation on interrupting the cycle of defiance. His contributions made the training both engaging and highly practical for educators. This type of cross-functional collaboration is exceptional, and I would argue that this level of partnership between law enforcement and education systems is rare on a national level. Sean Palmer exemplifies what it means to be a powerful partner in education. He brings heart, innovation, and unwavering dedication to our school community every single day. He is more than deserving of this recognition, and I am grateful for the opportunity to advocate for him. His second nomination reads, Sean is a police officer who has found his home in our high school. He connects with kids, celebrates their successes, and makes all of us laugh. With Sean in our building, our school is not only safe, but it is more joyous as well. He truly loves being around teenagers and helps them learn to be good humans. And then our second one was Karen Abode, co-founder and president of the Greenhouse Project. Karen Abode, co-founder and president of the Greenhouse Project, was Carson City's first work-based learning partner. She and the TGP staff have created numerous ongoing opportunities for our agricultural science, plant science, and greenhouse management students at Carson High School and the Ag Ventures Eagle Valley Middle School to work in the greenhouse, hoop houses, and planter beds, directly and positively impacting students' knowledge and applied skills in agriculture. Karen also initiated the CTE Greenhouse Project Senior Scholarships, which are given to deserving seniors who've shown outstanding contributions to the agricultural science and FFA programs at Carson High School. Those were the two we were bringing forward, but I also want to note there was Northern Nevada Ford Dealers, Linda Lawyer, Deputy Chief of Probation, and the entire JPO team were the other ones for that category.
Great, thank you. Does anybody have, would like to make a nomination? Go ahead, Trustee Varner.
I would. I've been very impressed with the Wild Foundation, WHYLD. Kim Cox is the founder. She started bringing in a lot of different school supplies, school food, and everything to the different schools. She's been very active. And her work, there's a bunch of stuff she does, but she started a school food closet program. She's a community partner. She's been recognized for being a community partner. And some of the community impact that she has done is distributed 3,120 pounds of food, provided over 400 plus meals to students, invested $2,800 back into the community of the schools. And her philosophy is no child should have to worry about where the next meal will come from. A lot of the activities that she does is targeted at after school when the kids are not in school, but when they're at home, so they have food. So I think she would be deserving of some consideration.
Thank you. So if I'm going to go ahead and speak, I would recommend Karen Avowed. With the Greenhouse Project, they have been with the school district for quite some time. I think the longevity speaks for itself and the impact in which they have within the school district as well. So that's who my nomination would go to. I'm not discrediting any others. I just think with the longevity of the Greenhouse Project there. Does anybody else have any comments?
I will add my voice to Sean Palomar. I've spent a lot of time around him over the last couple years, and he does a lot outside of campus to engage with the kids, in addition to being very present and very tangible and approachable and really connecting well with the kids. For example, I'm also on Safe Grad Committee, and last year it was easy. He attended here in town. We were at the go-kart track. This year he got permission to take his car up with us. As soon as graduation was over Friday evening, he hung out with us through the check-in process and then came up and spent the evening well into the wee hours up in Reno with us at Safe Grad. So things like those were outside of what his expected requirements would be. I really appreciate how much he invests in those relationships. So just another voice for that one.
So what we're going to go ahead and do then is we're going to go down the line if there's no more nominations, and we're going to vote. So did you want to keep with your nomination or stick with the two that was
President.
presented? Whoops, sorry.
Just to be really clear, not vote, but you can have everybody see if there's consensus on who will be voted on eventually. I mean, you can also take each one individually if you want, or you can separate this one out and take a vote on it by itself. But when you vote, you got to do the final vote. That's all I'm saying.
I understand, I just don't know how I do the suggestion. Like, how do I?
You might need to separate this one out for a motion.
Okay.
On its own.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that, noting that we have 3. Did you want to keep with your nomination? Or do another year?
I think that Kim Cox with the Wild Foundation would be highly deserving of the award, but I could go with Karen also.
Okay, well, so what we're gonna do then is we'll just keep with the two that you presented, and we'll take that individually, if we need to, as a vote, okay? And I believe you guys had a 5th? The committee had a 5th. Who will be presenting that one?
Me. The last one that we had nominations made in was Innovative Educator of the Year, and we received 4 in that category: Cody Downing, January Hurlbert, Lauren Simino, and Lauren Gates. With that, our recommendation is Cody Downing and Lauren Simino. So I will read their nominations real quick. Cody Downing led an innovative and student-driven project that created a lasting impact on both students and the community. Through the development and publication of a professional 64-page magazine, students gain authentic real-world experience in marketing, sales, journalism, photography, design, and business while building meaningful connections with local professionals and organizations. The project generated an impressive $39,575 in support, demonstrating exceptional community engagement and providing valuable opportunities that enhance student learning, career readiness, and confidence. And then Lauren has spent the past 3 years guiding the career and technical education teachers through the development of high-quality proficiency scales that prioritize learning and provide feedback to students about their progress towards mastery. She single-handedly has led this work in 15 distinct and different programs of study. In addition to her curriculum work in the Carson City School District, Lauren has spent 2 years working with middle school CTE teachers from across the state to revision and rewrite the middle school CTE standards for 15 courses. Her work has been highly collaborative, outcome-oriented, and a true representation of her curriculum and assessment excellence. I work with the CTE directors from across the state. They have been overwhelmingly supportive of the time and the work that their teacher put in because of high-quality, outcome-oriented work that Lauren orchestrates. So those are the 2 that we recommend.
I'm sorry, could you please,
Cody Downing
but what was
Lauren
Lauren's last
Simino.
name? Who?
Simino. Cimino. And Lauren is the one who did show up in 3 different nomination areas. The admin that she wasn't available for, and then the other 2, this is the area we chose to put her name forward, though.
Okay, then I would recommend that we stick with that. Okay. Did you have any other nominations?
No, but if I could just speak about Cody for a minute, the work that he did putting that magazine together and the money that they brought in by doing that and what the students learned through that process, I think we ought to really give some consideration to him because that was quite a project that was very well done
Okay.
professionally.
Okay, so
And
we'll
if
go ahead and do
I
that
may-
separately as well. Go ahead.
So sorry, if I may remind the board that we are only allowed to nominate 1.
So we'll do that separately as well. Okay, so that then brings us to all of the rest. Okay, so I believe we're in consensus with the School Administrator of the Year. We are in consensus with the School District Employee Making a Difference, consensus of the District Level Administrator of the Year impacting student achievement. And keep in mind, we don't have to nominate for every category, but if we choose to, the next one that we would nominate would be the NASB Director of the Year. This is, I would actually look to Trustee Varner.
I would not want to be nominated again. I've been fortunate over my time on the board to win that award twice, and I would not want to be nominated again.
However, though, would you have a nomination of someone within the directors of NASB in a different district, representing a different district. Because we did end up, I mean, at one point, we nominated a superintendent from White Pine, so we have that opportunity as well. So is there a nomination that you would, somebody from a different district? Not to put you on the spot, but I put you on the spot.
There's a really highly involved director from Churchill County. And I'm trying to think of her name, but I can get that, and I would highly recommend her. She's involved in a lot of different projects above and beyond just being a representative for her district. Yeah, maybe you can Google it and find it.
I'm trying.
Karen,
Is it Catherine? Catherine Whitaker?
Catherine Whitaker. That
Whitaker.
I would recommend that we
Whitaker.
would nominate her.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's Catherine, okay. And then we'll go ahead and, touch on nomination letters. So we will task you with writing that letter on her behalf. Okay? And then next we have the NASB Veteran School Board Member of the Year. And so at this time, I would like to nominate Trustee Ramirez. Do we have any other nominations? Okay. If you don't look at me, I'm going to take that as you're all good.
Yeah.
Okay, because we're moving on. The next one, we have NASB New School Board Member of the Year. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I think we have two really good candidates for this, Michelle Peterson and Rebecca Roberts. So I think the board ought to consider one of those two.
I would agree, and so, yeah. I know, this makes it very tough, because I think both of you have stepped up and have done a wonderful job. And so what I would look then is, do we have any new ones coming on? If we do one this year, we can do the one next year as well, okay? So at this time, then I'm going to go ahead and do Trustee Peterson, because she is our clerk, and then, yeah, okay? And I do have to say, on behalf of myself, I think going through those policies just reiterated the strength that this board holds and how strong the new board members have become. Because that was great conversation. That was great. So I appreciate the time that you guys put into that. Oh, wait. So then what's this next one? So that one is, we have the veteran, then we have the new school board member of the year, and then we have the individual school board member of the year. So then can we put,
Could you flop them so Trustee Peterson could be the individual school board member of the year? Okay.
oh, it has to be more individual school board member of the years, more than 2 terms? More than 2. So we only have you.
Actually, I haven't completed 2 terms yet either, so.
We have no one. Is that correct? I'm on my first term. Go through them.
Nominate Mr. Fewling.
You're on your second. You're your second.
We're on the same. Yeah, we'll finish our second in January. Or December.
Where are you reading that?
They revised the forms this year, so I'm not sure if that changed from
Over the
previous years
course
or not.
of more than 2 terms in service. Oh, yeah, okay, so we would, I don't know of anybody else in any other school district, so we will I recommend that we don't make a nomination. Okay? We've discussed the Friends Innovative Educator of the Year. We've discussed Media Award. The NASB Media Award for Outstanding Education Reporting. I believe last year we nominated, and Jessica, we would nominate you again, but you won. So, thank you. But, so last year, we did the Rocio Hernandez from Nevada Independent, and I don't believe she won, did she? Oh, she did. Oh, then I don't have a recommendation. Go ahead.
Melissa Ferguson, she's the news director for KRNV News 4.
Okay, good with that. Okay. And then Michelle, we will ask you to write that nomination letter. Okay. Next, we have NASB School Board Governance Team of the Year. And should we? Okay, we're going to nominate ourselves. Okay.
I don't disagree with that, but Carson City has won it so many times that I think there's, yeah.
However,
Talk that somebody else needs to be nominated or
I
win
would,
the award.
right, I would say we nominate ourselves, and if we don't win, we're okay with that. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then we have NASB Board Secretary or Administrative Assistant or other board support staff person of the year. Last year, we nominated our Miss Renee Cortez, and she did win. Do we want to nominate her again?
She would go nuts.
No. Okay. What's that? Is there,
Or other sports.
Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
board secretary or administrative assistant or other board support staff person of the year? Could we? No.
No, we can't, or no, you don't want us to.
Working behind the scenes with local school board members and superintendents to facilitate our board decision-making. That sounds to me like that's you.
I'm really grateful and I'm flattered, but I really do think it's supposed to be an employee.
Okay. And again, we don't have to nominate, so, okay. So we'll go ahead and pass on the nomination for that. What's that? What'd she say? Yeah. I like it. All right, so, all right, so we'll go ahead and leave that one blank as well. Okay. All right, then moving on, NASB Superintendent of the Year. And we all know we have the best one in the state. And how many times have you won? All right, let's go. I say we go for a hat trick. So, so we will go ahead and nominate our superintendent once again. Okay. All right, which brings us then to the vote. And then we'll discuss who's going to be writing the letters, because I know that is something that is very important as well. So how would our legal counsel suggest that we do this? The ones that we are for sure on, take that as an action and then go back to the others?
Yep, and do them individually. So I
Individually,
would just read the slate of the ones you agree on and then ask for a motion to approve. Once that action's taken, public comment, and then we'll take action on that too that you need to do individually.
Okay, all right, so moving forward. So I will be asking for a motion to approve NASB School Administrator of the Year nominations for Josh Billings and Carrie Pryor. We will be looking for NASB School District Employee Making a Difference, Mike Aldridge, and, no, Allridge, and Catherine, how do you say it? Unruh? Unruh, thank you. NASB District Level Administrator of the Year Impacting Student Achievement, Christine Perkins. NASB Director of the Year, Catherine Whitaker. NASB Veteran School Board Member of the Year, Lupe Ramirez. NASB New School Board Member of the Year, Trustee Michelle Peterson. NASB Media Award for Outstanding Education Reporting, Melissa Ferguson. NASB School Board Governance Team of the Year, Carson City School District Board of Trustees. And NASB Superintendent of the Year, Superintendent Andrew Fueling. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. Public comment? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? A motion passes unanimously, which brings us back now to NASB Award to a friend of K-12 public education. We have two nominees for one nomination. We have Karen Aboud from the Greenhouse Project, and I'm sorry, it was Sean, what was the last name? Palomar, who's the SRO, and we will go ahead and go down the line, and I will tally it up. He took it off. So we have the two. All right.
Mr.
So
President, just so the record's really clear, I'd actually just call for a motion, see if you get a second, and take the vote. If it doesn't pass, then you take another motion.
okay, perfect. All right. So I move to nominate Karen Aboud for NASB Award to a friend of K-12 public education. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to nominate Karen from the Greenhouse, correct?
Yes. Do I have a second? All right, failure for a second, which fails the motion. So now do I have a motion to nominate Sean Palomar for NASB Award to a friend of K-12 public education?
I motion Sean Palomar.
Do I have a second? So I have a motion and a motion by Trustee Peterson, and I'll go with the second by Trustee Clapham. And public comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to NASB Innovator Educator of the Year. We have two, Cody Downing and Lauren Semino. Okay, Semino. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a motion for NASB Innovator Educator of the Year to nominate Lauren Semino. Do I have a motion? Okay, so no motion, which then brings us to nomination of Cody Downing for NASB Innovator Educator of the Year. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion also.
Okay, second. So we have a motion by Trustee Ramirez, second by Trustee Varner. All in favor, public comment? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Now we have the discussion on nomination letters. So I'm going to ask then the committee for the NASB School Administrator of the Year, will you be reaching out to those who nominated them and ask them to write the nomination letters? Yes?
Didn't some of them write letters already?
Provided us statements, brief statements, what we shared with you guys.
Okay.
But we are able to reach out to those individuals and ask them for a letter.
Okay, I would ask that you do that, and please make sure that we have the letters by August, when?
21st, I think.
Is
They have
that
to
when you
be
wanted the
to
letters?
NASB by August 21st.
Yes, so I'm going to ask that you get the letters, if you could, then by August 15th. Is that doable? So then we have time to organize them all, please.
And when you ask the individuals to write those letters, make sure they look at what is stated in the nomination requests, because sometimes what I've noticed is they don't touch upon all those items, and that sometimes makes them miss the award.
Okay,
So make sure they're really accurate and really detailed.
okay, so trustee Ramirez, since you presented School Administrator of the Year, we're going to task you with getting that nomination letter, please. NASB School District Employee Making a Difference, trustee Roberts, whether you ask whoever nominated them for that letter, or would it be you, then we will. Perfect. Okay, great, thank you. NASB District Level Administrator of the Year, Impacting Student Achievement, we're going to task that with trustee Peterson. NASB Director of the Year, we're going to task that to trustee Varner. NASB Veteran School Board Member of the Year, I will be tasked with that one. And remind everybody, it's August 15th. NASB School Board Member of the Year, that will be myself as well. NASB Award to Friend of K-12 Public Education, I'm going to task that to trustee Peterson. NASB Innovator Educator of the Year. That one, would you? Okay, trustee Studico, thank you, because I really, Yeah. All right, thank you. I didn't want to, that was going to be, Michelle was going to get a lot. So I kind of held off on that one. All right. Oh, shoot, because you're going to do the next one. NASB Media Award for Outstanding Educating Reporter. That was going to be trustee Peterson. Okay. And then NASB School Board Governance Team of the Year. Any takers? Really? Oh, well, great. Thank you. That will be Superintendent Fueling. Love it. Okay. And then for NASB Superintendent of the Year, that will be all of us. Would you? Yeah, I don't trust you on that one. That will be us, and I will coordinate that one. Okay? But we will all, it's not going to just come from one of us. It's going to come from all of us. So I will ask each of you to do some type of a paragraph on what the superintendent has brought to you. Okay?
Molly, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When we ask for these letters, are they sending them back to us? Do we have them send to Renee, or are they directly sending it to Rick?
I would ask that they send them to you by the 15th.
Okay.
And then it is up to you to get them to Renee.
Okay.
By the 15th. So if you want them and go over them, then ask them for like the 13th. But I think if it comes from us, so Renee's not chasing them,
Yes.
she knows who's doing what, I think it would be easier for her, but I'll let her speak to that.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Gather everything and submit it all in one packet.
Yeah. And so then we'll have everything to her by the 15th. Perfect. So that closes agenda item number 9. Brings us to agenda item number 10. This is approval of the consent agenda. Did everybody have a chance to review? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve the District Board of Trustees consent agenda.
And then trustee Clapham, second. Public comment? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda item number 11, which is informational items. This is for discussion only. No action will be taken. Is there any comments, concerns, questions on the informational items? You and others too. All right. Moving on to agenda item number 12, this is a request for future agenda topics. This brings us to policy 200, which is programming. So at this time, I'm not going to ask that it be on the agenda, but I will ask that I will like to meet with our superintendent just to go over which policies within there. After reviewing those, I noticed that the school board doesn't are not affected in all of them. So we would just go over the ones that we are. And then at that point, we will bring those policies as a future agenda item to you, which then the first reading would be even after that. Okay, so we'll do that as well. Is there any other future agenda items that anybody would like to see on the agenda? Seeing none, that brings us to agenda item number 13, meeting adjourned. Thank you.